Hey guys, what's going on? It's Blazing here again with another tier list video for you. So once again, it's going to be the same format as the previous videos. So the first half of the video is going to be for the race to roll first. The second half of the video is going to be for those that are looking to get AOTC or AOTC looking to get into cutting edge rating, or those that are just getting to Shadowlands for 9.2, or you're maybe coming over from Final Fantasy, alright? And what classes is easier to play, kind of what specs for melee. All right, so here we go. Let's jump right into the tier list for the race to roll first section. All right, so once again, guys, race to roll first is my favorite esport out of any video game out there. It is my favorite time of year, so I love this portion of any time we do the tier list. All right, so let's jump right into it here. So first, we're gonna go right into rogues. All right, so immediately we saw during Sanctum Domination after the loss of Limit, very disappointing. But instantly when we saw them come at a loss, what did we immediately notice? Actually, a few weeks after that, they knew they had a weakness in their rogue player base, or just in that rogue section, to where they reached out to one of the greatest rogues in the world out there in the game, flat out, JPCtheMan. All right, so they recruited him, they picked him up. For me, it was like watching a college football player get recruited by your favorite NFL team and get to go play with the pros. So I'm super hyped about it. I'm super excited to see this race to roll first and to see JPC on the Limit team pumping. And maybe this time in A we can secure the race to roll first this time around. All right, so let's jump right into Subtlety Rogue. Subtlety Rogue this time around is going to be S tier. Okay, the reason for that is, in case a few of you don't really understand kind of what's going on with the tier set, currently right now it is procking with the Shadow Dance. It's procking a lot. I don't know if it's a bug. Like, here's the thing, it could go down to here to B tier if Blizzard fixes a bug, or if it's not intended. If the bug where it's procking constantly to where you're constantly eviscerating is not intended, then it could be B tier. But for right now, with its current tier set and currently the way the Subtlety Rogue is working, is going to be S tier. All right, and obviously you have Cheat Death, Cloak Shadows, Evasion. They bring all of that kind of survivability to the raid, which a lot of other melees really don't have that kind of survivability that rogues bring. And they bring the highest single target damage in the raid. And a lot of times when you're dying at 1% or 2% on these bosses during the race to roll first, you need that single target damage to funnel onto the boss, and that's where JPC or the rogues are going to come into play here. Okay, so next is going to be into Assassination. Assassination is going to be S tier by far. And we're actually going to shift down Subtlety to A tier here. The reason for this is with the Vendetta, the way it's currently working with the tier set, and it making your poisons and your bleeds just blast out of the wazoo every time you pop Vendetta, and it giving you that burst window. And a lot of bosses we see in the Specular, the first ones, they have that small burst window that you need to push certain phases, to where you're going to see that Vendetta come into big plays and make those big, huge moments where they can phase a boss maybe before they wipe or they die or they get an extra mechanic that they don't intend on getting. You're going to see that Vendetta come into play. And then obviously we saw the tweets from JPC every single month. I think it was like maybe every 2 weeks. And obviously we did see, I think there was a dev video also when they said they're looking at giving rogues that raid utility. Unfortunately, I think the devs saw the tweets so much that on their lunch breaks, they pulled it up on their phone, and they just Pepe laughed at him, at JPC, the poor guy. And rogues never received the smoke bomb. I was hoping they would get smoke bomb for 9.2, which would act, for those that don't know, it would act kind of like darkness that Havoc Demon Hunters have. So it kind of worked a similar way. But obviously, JPC got Pepe laughed at, and unfortunately, we don't have smoke bomb. So they don't have any raid utility bringing to the table. So it's just literally them bringing Vendetta and the big blasting damage that rogues have just in that tight little burst windows. All right. So there that is. So that's going to be currently for those two rogue specs. Outlaw Rogue. Here's the thing with Outlaw Rogue. I am going to be putting in C tier here. The reason for this is a lot of guys go, why Outlaw Rogue C tier? The reason for this is, they're in the race to roll first, the unpredictability of their tier set and the way it's currently functioning with the roll of dice and the way how RNG it is compared to Assassination and Subtlety, you really want those minute windows and that precise damage that you can put on the analytical team can put on a spreadsheet, and they can say, hey, Max or Scribe, we have this guaranteed damage. Here's the spreadsheet. We did the number crunch. This boss is killable this week with this number crunch, with this 1 minute cooldown. Like, you know what I'm saying? With the RNG proc of this spec, it is very hard to kind of get that exact clear answer. So I think Limit and Echo is going to lean more into Assassination Rogue due to the analytical just spreadsheet standpoint of it. But I could be wrong here. Obviously, this is all speculation. All right. So now let's go ahead and shift over to, we're going to obviously work right to left like we did in the previous videos. Let's go ahead and go over to Ret Paladin. Ret Paladin is going to stay exactly where it is for right now. The reason I say that, yes, I know they bring Bop, Sack, Devotion, Divine Protection, excuse me. I know they bring all these things. But let me showcase to you something real quick, all right? Let me showcase to you something. Okay? Seraphim only lasts 2 seconds with its current tier set. It feels awful. Okay? And now also look at this. Look at this from January 16th. You would just be disappointed. It has a lot of problems. Are you really only satisfying to play every 2 minutes? And even then, you'll still lose to the top 10 classes. And then on top of that, the set is so buggy right now. And Seraphim is only lasting for 2 seconds as well. On your chance to proc your Art of War. This class currently, as of right now, and it is January 20th, this is incomplete class. So I'm not going to say it's SD, it's really anything right now. It's just pretend the class doesn't exist at the moment because it is not currently tuned and balanced. So I'm going to have to like go back and re-update this video with the current tuning for Racer Road first and obviously the back end of it. So just for right up front, it's not playable currently with its current tuning and balancing, okay? All right, now let's hop into Windwalker Monk here. Unfortunately, I forgot to pull up the tweet, but obviously there was a tweet out there about Windwalker Monk and kind of like they need some love, they need some help. Even Max had said it on stream as well. Their current tier set and even their legendaries, they feel really bad. They feel actually terrible, so I'm going to be putting them in D tier. In case you have those of you who don't know, it's looking like Windwalker Monk might be going back towards Kyrian this time around because of whenever you pop your Kyrian ability, the double Lego will grant you your Exune. I think for 12 seconds. Don't quote me on this. And so it's kind of looking like you'll go back to the Fist of Fury, canceling, going back to that kind of play style for Kyrian. Because the double Lego on all the other Covenants are kind of meh. Even the Necrolord one, I know they try to buff it and give it a 50% chance increase. But for right now, the Race the World first and the way it's so like, I mean, it's so unpredictable, especially with the Chi-Chi procs, and then you're also adding the Bone Dust Fruit. Like, I don't even see, even though Trill is such a god at the game, and any class he touches, I don't even think he would want to touch this class with how bad it is currently looking. So this class could get some tuning. I want to see Blizzard give some love to this class. Obviously, there's a lot of people that are going to be mad at me, like, why this class has been so good for this tier. But, hey, they need some love. They need some attention. Even Max agrees, all right? So they need some love and attention. But for right now, they're going to be D tier for the Race the World first, okay? I don't think Limit or Echo is going to be running a Windwalker this time around. I think they'll stick to their Mistweaver, giving them the Mystic Touch debuff. All right, so now we're going to go into Unholy. Unholy DK, right? Unholy DK, I do feel like we will see one of these come into play because A-Bomb Limb with the double Lego, it does give you that 20% increased damage. So they have incredible burst window for the AoE situations. And also their execute phase with their Unholy DK currently with the changes to harvest time and them giving a really great execute, it could be really good on Zaval, or even like other bosses where you need to squeeze out a little bit of damage during execute phase, and also bring the A-Bomb lift, being able to group everything together if they aren't running a Blood DK, like on Zymox or some other bosses, where they don't want to run a Blood DK and they feel like they can get A-Bomb limb, they can pull it together with just the A-Bomb limb, or maybe the double grip Lego. This could come into play on Unholy DK, so I'm going to be putting it currently at B tier with the way the tier set it's currently working, and the way it's going to be kind of looking as AMZ for the race roll first is looking very plausible, very possible to play. Frost Death Knight now. Let's go on to the next one. Frost DK. Currently it's going to be B tier as well, kind of with Unholy. It's kind of, when I'm looking over the Frost DK post, it kind of looks like the 2-piece they had intended is kind of not working. They're kind of unsure. It's kind of like, I feel like they're going to do some little bit more tuning to Frost DK. But Frost DK could go a little bit ahead of Unholy DK. I'm not really too sure here. But Frost DK could pull ahead. We could see Echo and Limit possibly running one Death Knight out of one of these two specs, okay? So keep your eyes open for that. Obviously, that's my speculation. I do feel like they will run at least one DK for those grips, whether it's a Blood DK or one of these two, okay? Alright, so next we're going to go right into Warriors. We're going to go over both Warriors right now. Fury Warrior, for the race world first, I'm going to be putting them at S tier. The reason for this is, we know how good Rally is. It is an incredible cooldown. For when you're under geared, you're proccing bosses, sometimes you can rally a ability that would otherwise kill your entire raid team, and you can combine it with healer cooldowns, and now you're surviving ability that would otherwise kill you, and now you can possibly kill a boss that Blizzard may have tuned to where you couldn't kill him. Like maybe this build was supposed to kill you, but they didn't count for rally. And now you're now killing a boss that Blizzard didn't expect you to kill in that week time frame, right? So for that reason, they are huge. Obviously, historically, think about this. Historically, from Classic, even all the way back to Classic, Warriors, by the end of expansions, have always become one of the top melee DPS in the game because of the haste and the way they scale with gear. All the way back to Classic WoW. Burning Crusade, even near the end of lots of expansions, Warriors historically have been proven to do incredible damage near the end of expansion and near end of expansion cycles. So that's why I'd be putting them at S tier, since we are leaning towards this probably is the last raid of this expansion. They are both going to be coming up into S tier, both Warriors. They give you Battle Shot for raid, they give you Rally, Echo and Limit. We might even see possible 2 Warriors played on each team, so keep your eyes out for that. If not, we will see one Warrior at least. He'll probably swap between like AoE for this fight or execute phase, execute phase, whatever. But we are going to see a Warrior in the race road first. Alright? So that's why they are going to be S tier. They are incredible, especially end of expansion. Alright? So next we're going to jump into Havoc, alright? Havoc Demon Hunter. Havoc Demon Hunter is instantly going to go into S tier. The reason for this is they bring great utility. They bring the raid cooldown, a 5-minute nice raid cooldown, 35% chance to avoid damage taken. Obviously that is huge when you're progging with underwhelming gear. And the way their current tier set is looking, and they also give you the magic debuff that you need. Their single target's incredible. The AoE is incredible with their current tier set. Double Legos looking fantastic for Demon Hunter. They are looking to be incredibly strong for the Racer World first. And obviously you have to have that magic debuff. And with the way it's looking, I don't think you'll run Vengeance Demon Hunter because how strong Havoc is looking. Obviously, Racer World first. This could go all the way down to E tier. We couldn't even see them played if Blizzard does some tuning to their single target or AoE. It could drop all the way down to E tier. And then we could see Vengeance Demon Hunter come in and give the magic debuff. Okay? But for as of right now, Racer World first, they are S tier unless something happens. Alright, next we're going to go ahead and go into Enhancement Shaman. Enhancement Shaman, historically, we have barely, is going to be C tier here. Historically, we have not seen them really played at all. I really would like to see them played in the Race to the World first. I'm a big fan of Enhancement Shamans. I think they're cool. It's like Thrall 2.0. I would love to see them. They bring great survivability. Ghost Wolf, they bring Wind Fury. But unfortunately, the damage output they have, it's very like, I don't really know. It's very like up in the air. But they could go all the way up to A tier. I think I'm going to keep them at A tier, actually. I'm going to change my mind on this. The reason for that is because of the carrying buff with the Kindred Spirits. Because Enhancement right now, Night Vein Enhancement, Sim DPS is looking incredible, right? And obviously the booming gain it gives you, right? Obviously Enhancement and Assassination is looking incredible here. Keep in mind, these are simulations. This is a patch for 5-minute 1 target. With a 4 set and 2 Legos. Obviously, we don't know if we're going to have the 2 Legos during the Race to the World first, and we might only have a 2 piece tier set going into it. So, I don't really know. This is so, like, kind of up in the air. I don't know, like I said, I didn't really do the number crunching, like maybe with the Arms Warrior, maybe and with the Havoc and stuff. Maybe Wind Fury is enough of a buff for the melee to consider bringing them in. But unfortunately, with the way that melee is such a small group for the Race to the World first, is usually 5 to 6 to 4 melee is brought during the Race to the World first. I am going to be leaving it A tier. I'm not going to be bringing it up to the S tier because it's just, I'm so skeptical on kind of the number crunch, and I'm interested to see. I really would love to see Echo and Limit play Enhancement Shaman, though. It would be pretty exciting to watch and see that happen, but I'm kind of leaning away from it. Even though they do have good survivability, they do bring that win rush, I'm just kind of leaning away from it. So I am going to be leaving them at A tier. It's just keep your eye out on Enhancement Shaman. Don't sleep on them. We might see them played. Alright, so next we're going to go into Feral Druid. Feral Druid, unfortunately, historically, I mean, it's really sad to see that this spec has become such a meme. It's just, you know, Twitch chat's always spamming the Sims always did good damage on Phase 3 Sylvanas. It's a really complex spec to play, and kind of what Max was saying, you don't want to play something where the rotation is really complex, especially during Race to the World first, where you want to, you know, kind of lean towards things a little bit easier to play. And this class doesn't have any immunities, doesn't have raid utility. It doesn't really bring anything that these other classes bring. And especially when you only are running 4 to 5 or 6 melee DPS, do you really want to give one of those melee spots to a Feral Druid when Assassination does more damage? Or you can bring an extra Rally or an extra Darkness, or possibly even Wind Fury or an AMZ. So, like, this class right now, I'm going to keep it in E tier because it's just, like, for the Race to the World first, I just don't see Echo or Limit playing this class at all. Alright, Survival Hunter. We'll get right into Survival Hunter here. Survival Hunter is going to be, sadly, the same situation. Unfortunately, with the lack of the single target damage, Survival Hunter does not bring that single target damage. In those melee specs, you are looking to bring that single target funnel damage. That's usually what your melee, why you're bringing melee is for that single target funnel damage or the execute damage phase. And Survival just doesn't bring that. And then on top of that, their class in general, BM, Marksman, Survival, Hunters are traditionally into prog very, very squishy. So, I mean, think about it, right? Marksmen and BMs already kind of almost fall over during mechanics early in prog during the Race to the World first. Now you're going to tell a Hunter to play a melee spec and stand in melee where mechanics go wild, and you expect them to survive the encounter for like 6 to 10 minutes? No shot. No shot. They're E tier for sure. And if we see this be brought to the Race to the World first, I mean, I might have to redo the video instantly. I mean, I will literally leap out of my chair. I'll be so excited, but I just don't see it. Unless Echo and Limit knows something that no one else does in the entire galaxy, there's some hidden cheese strat with this spec, then we'll see it. But for right now, it's tuning, the way it's looking single target wise, I just don't see it. Okay? So guys, that concludes the Race to the World First, the speculation, what I kind of see, what specs to be brought to the raid. So keep your eyes out for that. It's going to be really exciting. I'm really looking forward to that, but that's going to be the end. This is kind of what I expect Melee to be brought during the Race to the World First. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and reset the tier maker, and now this is the point of the video. We're going to be turning our attention to cutting it, AOTC raiders, players looking to get into cutting edge, or players just now getting into Shadowlands, okay? So now let's go ahead and swap it over and turn our attention to that. Alright, here we go. Alright, let me reset this bad boy. Hold on, give me a second. Okay, there we go. Alright, here we go. Right, first, we're going to jump right into rogues, alright? Rogues in general, let's just get straight to the facts here. Rogues, they listen to techno music, they're blasting EDM, they're jamming, you know, they wear tank tops, they go to the gym at 5 a.m. They're like the Giga Chads of World of Warcraft, right? So if that's kind of your play style, you're kind of that mentality. You go to the gym at 5 a.m. You're lifting. You got a gold chain. You're wearing snapbacks. You got that tank top on. You're Giga Chadding. Then Rogue is definitely gonna be a really good choice for you. All right, if you're new coming to the game, Rogue is definitely gonna be a really good choice. All right, so for this, Assassination is going to go into S tier. All right, because the survivability they bring, the Vendetta, the 1-minute cooldown, raid leaders, get a Rogue. If you don't currently have a Rogue in your composition, get a Rogue no matter what spec they are. They are going to be good. They're going to bring you that single target funnel that you're looking for. As on top of that, they also bring so much great survivability. They have cheat death, cloak, evasion. They have all that kind of stuff that they bring to the table, and they have a really good cooldown usage that you can work around. If you're a new raid leader or whatever, it's really good to work around these short cooldown windows because it's less stressful for you. All right. So if you're, and also new players, if you were one of those things, you do love listening to techno, you're that kind of player, go ahead and pick up Rogue. It's going to be incredible. All right. So Subtlety Rogue, I'm also going to be putting up there as S tier as well, just because the new tier set, the way it's working, if it's not a bug, if it's not a bug and Blizzard keeps the tier set currently how it is now for Subtlety, it's going to be very good for new players, because traditionally Subtlety is a precision based class where you would have to know exactly, you know, okay, going into when this ad spawns, I need to have this set amount of combo points to bust onto the raid boss or whatever. But with the new tier set and the way it's kind of freeing you up to kind of do AoE cleave, and the way it's kind of just randomly proccing to where you can spam the eviscerates, it's looking very friendly to new players that are just now playing Rogue for the first time. So keep that, if you're a new player or you're looking to transition to Rogue, keep Subtlety on the table, watch some YouTube videos, and you'll kind of see it's looking pretty good if they don't fix it, or, you know, if they don't fix it, right? But here's a little shout out to the raid leaders here real quick. This is kind of like a public announcement. Be wary of rogues. You're gonna have two kinds of rogues. You're gonna have the techno Giga Chad rogue that I talked about, or you're gonna have a rogue that is a JPC impersonator, where like literally he'll save their one-liners in Discord. And if you have that kind of rogue, or like during the interview, he says, oh yeah, JPC is like, you know, he says one of his one-liners, or like and ask him what JPC wore that day. If the guy literally knows exactly what he wore that day, be very wary of that rogue. Because a lot of the times, that rogue will be so focused on watching JPC stream to where he'll mess up the raid mechanics. So just keep your eyes open for that, okay? During the interview process, ask him what JPC was wearing that day on stream. And if they answer you, then you kind of know, maybe find another rogue. All right, here we go. All right, Outlaw Rogue now, okay? Outlaw Rogue, I'm going to go ahead and put into C tier once again. The reason I'm putting in C tier here for those AOTC players is player perception, right? With the unpredictability of its tier set, player perception, Race to World First, we're going to be seeing Assassination Subtlety played. And a lot of times, raid leaders also do M+, a lot of times, and they have a bad perception of Outlaw Rogue or they want to work around the Vendetta more than they want to work around the RNG of Outlaw. So right there, for a new player getting into Shadowlands, or you're just now becoming a new rogue, I would kind of say play Outlaw. If you want to be a swashbuckler, you want to be a pirate, you want to put pirate memes in this Discord, go ahead. It's fine. You'll do decent damage, it's okay. But if you want to kind of guarantee your rate spot and be competitive against other rogues, I would lean more towards these two specs, because I feel like player perception of Outlaw is kind of bad, and you might get denied a few raid spots if you are doing interviews with some guilds, okay? So just keep that in mind, but go ahead and play any one of the three specs you want to as a rogue, all right? Here we go. Next, we're going to go ahead and jump right into Warriors. Warriors instantly, for new players in the expansions, you're coming into 9.2, AOTC getting into cutting edge rating. Every single guild needs a warrior. Sometimes it's hard to find warriors. Sometimes guilds don't even have warriors. They don't have battle shout. So you playing a warrior almost guarantees you a raid spot, because you bring rally, you have heroic leap, you have the fences, you have and you have the battle shout to buff the raid team. Okay, so both of these are going to be very, very good to pick. So I would highly advise you pick up warrior. It's fun, it's cool, you get to wear cool armor, you get to have cool transmogs, and on top of that, you bring rally cry, one of the best raid cooldowns in the game for DPS players to bring. Okay, so definitely consider playing warrior. All right, demon hunters, all right, demon hunters, I'm gonna tell you straight up out of personal experience, demon hunters are one of the best general player base in the game by far. These guys, they listen to hardcore heavy metal music. They can never hear the raid leaders callouts. They also listen to anime music, and most of the time they have an anime Discord profile picture, or they have an anime Discord profile, Twitter profile picture. These guys are also Giga Chads. They can never hear your callouts in raid, but don't worry about it, because they already know what you're doing before, like, you even pull a boss. That's how insane this player base is. Raid leaders, if you do not have a demon hunter, go find one right now. Close the video, get on the recruitment Discord, and find a demon hunter right now. They are some of the best mechanical skilled players in the game, right? Look at Fraggle, look at players like that. Even look at just in general, demon hunters are incredible players. Go find yourself one right now. All right. The Giga Chads of World of Warcraft, the anime watchers, the pumpers of damage, the mechanical gods, they obviously are going into S tier. If you're a new player, you're coming from Final Fantasy, you've never played World of Warcraft before, play a demon hunter. It is cool. You look awesome. You fly around. You can dodge mechanics with your double jump. You I-beam with your eyes. You dash all over your screen. You look insane. And then on top of that, you can make your raid leader have panic attacks 24/7, because he thinks there's a countdown above your head. You're like, 3, 2, 1. Oh my god, you think you're going to die? Next thing you know, the demon hunter dashes out and he pops the immunity. Boom, the whole raid saved. Boom, baby. Woo-wee, baby. You're pumping, dude. This class is, woo. Raid leaders, find one right now. If you have not played a demon hunter and you're tired of playing World of Warcraft, you're kind of bored, you're kind of unenergetic about a game, go make a demon hunter right now. I promise you'll find new love for the game, alright? S tier by far. Plus, they bring a 5-minute raid cooldown darkness, and a lot of raid leaders love having darkness. And with Spirit Link, it becomes an amazing, insane, like, Megatron-like ability. Like a raid cooldown. You put SOT with that, holy Toledo. Ain't no one's dying with that combination. Alright, anyways, that's the end of the Demon Hunter rant. So we're going to go ahead and move over into Enhancement Shamans. Enhancement Shamans, unfortunately, is going to go into C tier. The reason for that is, right now, with the player perception going into 9.2, we had to kind of see where the Race to Road First kind of leads. If Enhancement Shaman is played in the Race to Road First, they're S tier. If they are not played in the Race to Road First, they're going to be either B or C tier. The reason for this is player perception. Historically, for a while now, Enhancement Shamans have not been seen very much in Raid, or it's a meme, and they are brought for Wind Fury Totem to increase the damage of your Raid team for parsing runs. Sometimes guilds don't even recruit Enhancement Shamans till the end of Prog, when they go back to kill bosses to make sure they're melee parse. So unfortunately, player perception does damage this class a little bit. So Enhancement Shaman mains out there that are looking for a cutting edge guild, unfortunately, you are going to be fighting that player perception a lot of the times. But obviously, if you're not dying the mechanics, you're a good player, you're popping your Astral Shift on time, you're using your ghost where you're not dying. Obviously, once again, you'll climb all the way up to A tier because raid leaders love having players that aren't dying. Alright? But I'm going to be leaving it as C tier for those players, okay? Next, we're going to go ahead and jump into the Death Knights, okay? Death Knights are going to go ahead and go right there into B tier, right? With the XU phase, the AMZ they bring, the grips. A lot of times, raid leaders aren't going to have the opportunity to bring blood DKs, or they don't know a blood DK, they don't have it on their raid team. So a lot of times you're going to find yourself in a guaranteed raid spot because they love having the grips to make the encounter easier. And also you bring nice AMZ for the raid cooldown, and you bring a bomb limb if you're rocking Necrolord. So for that reason, I am going to be putting DKs as B tier for those players that are looking to get into a cutting edge guild. I think they are a fantastic class. They bring good execute, they bring decent damage, and obviously they bring the grip utility that a lot of guilds need at the AOTC level and early cutting edge level. Windwalker Monk again is about to be the same possibility as the other three in the same tier. Is player perception, right? It is all about the race through first and kind of what they are perceived. If this becomes underperforming, the tier sets don't get increased, double Lego doesn't really play out. Unfortunately, the player perception will hurt this spec a lot. And raid leaders and guilds, they won't be recruiting for a Windwalker because they'll say, oh, it's just trash, so it doesn't deal that decent enough damage, so they won't be picking him up. But if you do like kind of the rotation of it, you kind of do like the class fantasy, I highly encourage you to pick up Windwalker. It is extremely fun to play. It's really cool when you get those Chi procs. And the new tier set for 9.2 does look incredible on Windwalker. So, but just the way play perception and the current tuning of its tier set, I am going to be leaving it at C tier for those AOTC guilds. Okay, Ret Paladin, like I said, for AOTC getting into cutting edge guild, it is just going to be D tier. I know I didn't touch on it for the race to roll first, but unfortunately, player perception really hurts this class, this spec so much. It has become a PvP spec. Like, let's just put it frank, it's a PvP spec. Most guilds won't ever recruit a Ret Paladin because they view it as a PvP spec. Now you can prove them wrong, right? You can be a great player, out DPS all these other specs just because you're a mechanical skilled player. That's fine. Then you'll be S tier, kind of like I did in the range DPS video for Frost Mages, right? You bring those immunities, you can do those souls, you become the clutch player. But generally, getting into a raiding guild, it will be a little bit more difficult for you because of player perception, okay? So keep that in mind if you're looking to play Ret Paladin going into 9.2. I would kind of highly advise you to play one of these at the top, okay? Next, here we go. Here comes the strap yourselves in. These are molten lava takes, as Max would say. Just prepare yourself. I mean, it's the two. It's just brutal. Okay, here we go. Feral Druid. I know we've seen the Sims. I know we've seen the damage in Phase 3 of Sylvanas. I know we've seen the single target. But for new players, my God, stay away from this class. It doesn't exist for you new players. Don't even look at it. Like, it's off the screen. Don't even... If you're new coming into WoW, or you're new coming into 9.2, you haven't played Shadowlands, please do not play this class. The reason I'm saying this is, player perception of this class is so bad that you will become slightly depressed. You will sign up for raids, pug raids. You'll be declined. You will sign up. You'll go on the recruitment Discord looking to join a guild. You will get into the interview process for a guild. And the guild master or the raid leader, he won't even ask you how your day is. You know his first thing he's going to say out of his mouth before he even asks you how your day is going or hi, it's nice to meet you? He's going to ask you these key words. Do you play Boomkin? And if you say no, you're going to get banned immediately before you even have a chance to respond. Like the dude has, the GM has his finger, he has right clicks it, he scrolls down the banned player and he's hovering over it in the Discord. And as soon as you say, no, I don't play Boomkin, he instantly bans you. And then you sit there and you're sitting there wondering, why do you even play this game? And you're considering uninstalling it because the player base is so brutal to you. Do not, if you're a new player coming into 9.2, do not play this class. You will literally uninstall the game because the player base will execute you publicly. Do not play this class. Now, for those that are experienced in Feral Druid and you have a raid spot currently in your best buddies with the GM or the raid leader, or they know your personal mechanical skill, or that GM can vouch for you when you go and apply for another guild on their application, then this spec will be D tier at best, right? I know you can outplay all these, it could possibly be S tier if you can outplay all of them, but because of the rotation, how brutal it is for new players, and just because of it doesn't bring immunities, it doesn't bring raid cooldown, anything like that, it's going to be D tier. Now, you need to find someone on Twitter that's like JPC for your class, Feral Druids, that say you guys want to get Cat Din or some ability like that that gives you a Havoc Demon Hunter like ability for the raid team. If you can do that, then you'll climb to S tier. But for right now, you're going to be D tier. So Feral Druid community, go out there and find yourself a JPC, okay? Go do that. Now, we're going to get into Survival Hunter here. Survival Hunter, once again, it's just going to stay at E tier. The player perception in raid, yes, we know M+, there's a lot of talks right now, it could be S tier and M+. But for raid, unfortunately, with his squishiness, player perception really damages the class. Like, it just might as well not even be a spec, right? Because a lot of times, it's going to be the same situation they have with Feral. The raid leader's player perception is going to destroy your attitude and just your strength to play the game, because every single time they're interview or anything, they're going to ask you to play Marksman or Beastmaster. And a lot of times for AOTC or fresh, new, cutting-edge guilds, they have a very small melee group size, because a lot of times the melee players make a lot of mistakes. So a lot of times perception of raid leaders is they're scared to recruit melee. So I'm going to have to leave Survival E tier because of this reason and the way they just play, okay? Alright guys, well that concludes the end of the AOTC section. Hopefully you guys really enjoyed this video. I know it's like my most anticipated video I've ever put out. Thank you guys so much for the love and support. Please leave a like, comment down below, and obviously please sub to my channel. I deeply appreciate it. And to Max, Fired, all the guys from Limit, Echo, Nala, all you guys out there that are giving me so much support. Thank you guys so much. You guys are making my dream come true. Big shout out to you guys. I love you guys so much. Thank you for making my reality and my passion for the Race to Real First and just in general of the game. Thank you guys for making it a reality. I appreciate all of you so much. Thank you. Big heart out to you guys. I love you all. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Peace out, guys. Deuces. Take care.